And now to Morocco, where a devastating earthquake has killed nearly 3,000 people there. A 6.8 magnitude earthquake hit on Friday, destroying villages on mountainsides. Some residents say more than half of the population died in their villages. Giant boulders are now blocking steep mountain roads as people are waiting for food, water, and other resources. Joining us now is search and rescue expert and retired naval captain Armen Kurdian. Thank you so much for being here. Armen, rescuers saying the chance of finding more survivors is now slim. So in your view, is this a recovery mission at this point?
Well, Kelly, it is very likely this late in the game that most of the people that they might find under the rubble may not have survived, but it's still not impossible. The first 72 hours of any search and rescue operation of this nature are obviously the most vital because that's the opportunity to find the most people still alive. But of course, at the same time, it is the most challenging for any search and rescue team to get in there because, in this situation, you have a massively destructive event. You have poor infrastructure to begin with. You have very tough access for a lot of these individuals living in the mountains, where right now the only access is via helicopter to drop in supplies. So time is obviously of the essence. I saw that a lot of the villagers immediately, once the earthquake was done, they started digging with their own bare hands, pulling up relatives and friends and neighbors from under the rubble, seeing everybody coming together to do this rescue operation. And while you a lot of times hear the response has been slow, we don't have any help, it does take time for a lot of these rescue operations to really get underway because you got to build that logistic support. The search and rescue teams need their own base of operations. You got to get the search and rescue responders, emergency medical techs in those areas with their tent and their supplies and their equipment that they need to actually do this search and rescue. So time is obviously of the essence, but the teams that are there on the ground, they drill for this, they prep for this, and they're moving as fast as they possibly can to save as many lives as possible.
And to your point, you have to think about the aftermath as well. So what are the unique challenges looking for survivors when there's a risk of aftershocks? What do rescuers have to do to stay out of harm's way?
Well, obviously, aftershocks, you can't control the earth. And just like the first responders of 9/11, you're going into harm's way. You're going into a situation where you might actually get hurt. But what's more important to you is not your own survival, it's the survival of the people you're there to actually go out and save. So while you saw the reports that there's boulders and rocks that are blocking the way, obviously you don't want to go into any buildings or structures that are partially collapsed or at the risk of coming down. But at the same time, you're not going to play it completely safe. You're going to go in and take some heavy risks for your own personal safety, as you might be for some of these folks going in, and to try to pull these folks out of the rubble. It's a mindset that search and rescue teams have. They share all over the world. That's what they're trained for. That's what they're there to do, and that's what they're going to go out and make happen and put themselves on the line in order to save lives.
And we're, looking at some of those images there. Just, you can see all that mud, all the debris that has fallen. I'd like to ask you also about the American caver Mark Dickey, who was rescued from a cave in Turkey. He was 3,300 feet below the surface. Just an incredible rescue. How much of a challenge was it for crews to eventually bring him to the surface, Armen?
So the real heroes, the ones who actually made this possible, were the Hungarian rescue team and the Hungarian doctor who went down there to stabilize him and save his life in the first place. What that did is that gave everyone else time. Time is the most precious of all resources. The time that is behind you is gone forever. But in this case, they stabilized him. He was alive, and more importantly, they kept him in good spirits. They kept him in positive attitude with good morale. They said, "Hey, we're coming. Folks are coming." And the rescue teams were able to be deliberate and expeditious, but they didn't have to rush because they had to set up, let's call them cranes, the ropes to carry the stretcher up these very steep passages or through these very narrow passages. The logistical challenges were immense, but the rescue teams that were on site are, the Hungarian cave rescue team, the Turkish cave rescue team, literally folks from New Jersey cave rescue team. Some of his coworkers said that he's one of the top guys in the world in doing this. So he was following the procedures. It was some really bad luck that he got sick when he did, but he did the right thing. He stayed calm. Everyone else did the right thing. They protected him. They said, we're working. And They planned it really well, so long as they knew he was okay, to get him out with the least amount of risk to both himself and the rest of the rescuers.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.